Stay tuned because next up is David Charles Allen, Village Properties Realtor and host of The Hop, that's Home Ownership Podcast, here to give us the latest news about real estate in Santa Barbara.
Welcome to The Hop. This is David Charles Allen, Realtor at Village Properties in Santa Barbara, California, with my great friend and co-host, Patty Teal. How you doing today, Patty?
I'm doing great, David. Thanks for asking.
Good. The weather's pretty hot here right now. It feels hotter than it is, about 73 degrees. Looking ahead to some more warm weather coming up as well.
Well, now, David, 73 degrees isn't exactly hot.
It's not, but it feels really hot for everyone that lives in Santa Barbara. I don't know what it is.
Kind
it
of
feels like
funny.
90.
Oh, wow. I wonder why it feels so much hotter than it is.
It feels a lot hotter than 70 degrees, that's for sure.
Oh. It is a funny thing about Santa Barbara, too. You know, different neighborhoods can be so much hotter than others.
Yeah, it is interesting. There is definitely a different climate to each unique neighborhood.
That's for sure. That's one of the reasons it's so important to work with a realtor if you're from out of the area looking for a property, because you wouldn't know that.
That's true. There's a lot of little differences in each neighborhood that someone that's lived here or has at least worked here for quite some time will fill you in on.
Yeah, including the weather.
Again, some surf too. We've had some fun size little wind swell these last couple of days. Could be some more on the horizon. So with this weather, you're going to see a lot more people out in the water enjoying it.
Oh,
whether
that's really nice.
Waves or not. So
That's wonderful.
Exactly. And then in terms of some real estate, interest rates have gone up again slightly, 4.5% for 30-year fixed and 4% for 30-year jumbo. Wow.
Do you think they're going to keep going up, David?
Again, hard to say. We had that go up to 4.5%, and then they kind of dropped back down to 3.875, and then went back up to 4.5. So it seems all over the place right now. Everyone says it's going to keep going higher. It's really hard to predict what it really will do.
Typically, do you know, is it tied to inflation when interest rates on loans go up?
It's tied to so many different things that it's hard to keep track of.
I got it. Okay, thank you.
That's for sure. And then how the statistics have performed: 41 new listings, 4 price changes, 43 that closed, 24 that went pending, and 11 that were coming soon. So that's a huge difference in terms of new listings and pendings. But if you check out the new listings, 11 of them sold off market. So they're already closed. So essentially, it's only 30 new listings and 24 that went pending.
Oh, that's so interesting. Yeah, 11 that sold off market. So they just made these private deals amongst themselves without advertising. Is that what that means?
Correct. 25% of the new listings this week sold off market.
I got it.
That's a lot.
That is a lot.
Any questions for me this week?
You know, I think most of us, the biggest investment we make in our lifetime is purchasing a home. And I'm just wondering, so many people want to become investors. And so I've been watching videos on flipping or investing or wholesaling. Is it possible in an expensive area like Santa Barbara to get into real estate investment using other people's money? That's part of the question. And then the other part of the question is, how many of the sales in Santa Barbara do you think are purchased by investors versus people looking for a home to live in for themselves?
You know, it's hard to say in terms of who's investing and who's purchasing a home for themselves. But a lot of investors, in terms of flippers, they purchase the home with the intent to sell it to somebody that's going to live there. Is it simple or is it available to do in this kind of market? Well, you're going to have an investor that has deep pockets. And if you're going to pitch the idea to any investor, you're going to have some knowledge of how much money you're going to make, how much time it's going to take you, just all the above. And if you're not a contractor or someone that has a team of contractors or have done a flip, so to say, it's going to be really tough just because of the price point and the limited supply of contractors available and their pricing. So when you get into any kind of flip, you're kind of at the will of the contractor, and stuff can come up that's unexpected and will come up that's unexpected. And to have that ability to pay those costs to get things completed. And then on the other side, the market has to continue going up and not drop down any, because that's how you're going to budget it. It's not easy. There's a lot of people that do it. So it is more cutthroat in terms of finding those deals than you'd imagine. But you can make a really good amount of money if you're skilled and qualified, if you're up for a potential headache of a year. so to say.
Yeah, that's interesting. Those are some really good points too, multifaceted points. So you either have to know what you're doing yourself, or you have to be working with someone who knows what they're doing, and to be able to pitch your abilities to make a profit to the investor.
Exactly. Being a first time, it's going to be difficult doing that, but
Mm-hmm.
if you're able to do it once or twice on your own, it's really tough here because to do it on your own, you're going to have so much capital behind you, just sitting in your bank account, that you can purchase a house for 20% and then put another 500,000 into it, and also have all the holding costs associated with paying the mortgage every month, as well as taxes. So again, there's a lot of hidden costs people don't necessarily realize, and it's always going to be more than what you expect it to be when you're starting to do a remodel.
Right. So a lot of moving parts to that business. There are just so many videos online trying to sell you their knowledge to start flipping, wholesaling, investing in houses, but they're not necessarily talking about Santa Barbara.
Yeah, it's easier when you're in a market where the homes are only a couple $100,000, and you can get in to a home with $40,000, and then you can put 40,000 into it, kind of redo the finishes, the hardware, maybe a bathroom or a kitchen. So you're in like 80,000, and then you could probably sell it for 3. So there you net 40,000 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And that would be relatively simple to be able to go in and do that. But when you're talking about here, you're coming in at $1.5 million,
Mm-hmm.
and you're paying 500,000 more, and you're dealing with permits for Santa Barbara, which is always a hassle.
Right.
So
That's true.
it's a totally different game.
It's a different game. Things do sometimes go up a lot more in Santa Barbara, but it is probably harder to get started.
Yeah, but you also have the bigger term reward too. If you do it correctly, you can make $1 million on it in terms of that 40,000. So again, it's going to be imperative to find a home that's in the right location, that's give you the best return.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And
so now to my
always looking for that. So there's probably 100, if not more, people that are looking for those deals. So they are a little more cutthroat than you might think.
No, I can imagine. So let's turn to our favorite part, or at least mine, the fur babies at home. How are Moose, Jazz, Bailey, and Mango, i.e. Oyster, doing?
Oh, they're doing so good. We got Mango a little window sitter. So it's like shelving that goes on a window, and he just hangs out on it all day now and just looks outside. So he's really enjoying himself.
And I'll remind our listeners that Mango is a kitty cat.
Mango's the cat. Moose is getting huge and bigger by the day, but he's still just really an amazing dog.
Oh, that's really nice. Well, we've had a good week. I'm trying to teach Ollie to be a therapy dog. So I'm working on that. He just has to get over any fears that he has. But we did have a scare with my grand dog. He swallowed an object. He does that. That's why I kind of not wanting to babysit too much anymore, because it's so much responsibility. And then he got sick. And so they did x-rays and found an obstruction, and they thought they might have to do surgery, but they hooked him up to IVs. He spent the night in the doggy hospital, and the obstruction cleared. And so it was a very, very happy day, but really scary before that happened, because things can change so quickly with our loved ones, which includes our fur babies.
I'm glad he's doing all right. And I think you giving him all that training is going to turn out to be very social and outgoing after all.
He's getting there, that's for sure. It kind of makes him good, too, because he's a little shy. He doesn't run up to people. So it is a little bit of an advantage. He waits for them to kind of put their hand out for him to approach them. So it might work out really well.
Yeah, I mean, that's the opposite of Moose. He goes and barrels into everybody to say hi. So
yes, and that's what Riley, the golden retriever, does too. He's just jumping. He's so excited. So he's just very, very outgoing. Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, no. Yeah. And then when they get big, you're like, oh, please don't do that to that old person.
I know. They're just like kids. They are just different from the start. No matter how we treat them, they have their personalities.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. Well, David, this has been really interesting. Interest rates up, more properties for sale. So that's exciting. And, a lot of great news.
Yeah, it's all happening. And, we really want more homes to be listed. And that limited new supply in terms of so many homes selling our market is really putting a hindrance on buyers that are looking for those homes that aren't even coming to market. So it's difficult out there for buyers. Sellers are still having a great time with listing their homes.
Oh, I bet they are. So, David, if somebody wants to work with you, or even if they just want to talk to you and pick your brain a little bit, how would they get a hold of you?
Yeah, my number is 805-617-9311. And my email is david@davidcharlesallen.com.
Well, David, it's been really fun. The only thing is, don't complain about that 73-degree weather, because in Florida here, it's getting hot. And I mean really hot.
I know, right?
So you don't have much sympathy.
Yeah, it's weird. I was in Idaho in the summer and it was like 110 degrees, but it feels hotter here now. It's very interesting. I don't understand it.
Funny. I don't get that either. Anyway, well, you have a great week. Happy realting, if that's a word. Have a good one.
All right, Patty, let's get together next week.
You too. Bye.